Okay, so we will start with pointers, which pointing to some variables, and maybe I will talk a little bit about dynamic allocation or something. But the most important part in today's lecture is the function pointer and polymorphism. So I believe you are familiar with polymorphism now. I hope so. And I hope you are familiar with pointers. And maybe this topic is gonna be the last one you need to learn before I'm going further applications. Okay, so we know pointer. So the textbook style example of pointer variable is this one. Maybe you define a variable, integer variable a, and you may try to print it to confirm each value, right? So like this. So sometimes you would miss initializing this variable, maybe, sometimes. In this case, okay, runtime error, right? Abort. Build solution. So there is a warning. So the local variable a is not initialized. So this one has garbage value. Okay. So it generates some runtime error or something. So let's just ignore, and then you will see some weird value here. It's a garbage value because you didn't initialize this variable. So it doesn't have correct value. Okay, so don't forget initializing this one to a value you like to use. In this case, it's going to work again. Okay, so same thing happened to pointer. So we can define a pointer variable. You may write star ptr a like this. Okay, so this time you may try this one, right? Or this one, like this. Okay, so it also generates runtime error. So let's ignore it and ignore. It generates runtime error because this value has a garbage value as well as this one. Garbage value. So you cannot, your operating system cannot do this operation because this address is a garbage. So your operating system cannot find the correct memory address in each system. So we generally do this one. Maybe when we define a pointer variable, we can use null pointer for a safety reason. So in this case, maybe old style ptr a, you may initialize pointer variable in 0 value or null something. But recently the null ptr was introduced. This one. Okay. So this pointer value is initialized. This is not a good memory address, but anyway, it has a value. So it's okay. It's gonna be okay. But the problem is this one. The null PTR is not a good memory address. It's just a symbolic approach to prevent to notice your program that it was not initialized. So to avoid some memory access runtime error, you may do something like this. So in this case, if ptr a doesn't have correct memory address, well, you are not going. Your program will not perform this line. So maybe, if you like to do some, error handling, exception handling, then you can write something like this: ptr a was not initialized. Well, if you want to be a little bit more kind, you may write like this. Okay, you can just do this, right? Okay, so this one is a value, so let's ignore it. And this 0000000, right? 4-byte pointer value, the address value is initialized as 0. So null ptr is 0, and I told you that in old style, programmers initialize pointer variable as 0 or null, and null is 0, and null pointer is 0 as well. So we in many cases we use if ptr a is 0, then ignore, or you may use this if you are tired of typing these words, right? Okay. So if you want to make your pointer point to real memory address, then you may do something like this one, right? So let's move this one to here. So this is the address. Address of the memory, the starting address of the memory initialized for variable a, right? So, okay, and it's going to work in this case because the ptr a is pointing to the real memory address, so it shouldn't be a 0 value. Something's wrong. Okay, so in this case it's working, right? So maybe this. Okay, let me try this one again. Actually, I use this one. Well, I'm an old style programmer. So in this case, it's not working. So I don't recommend using this one. Do not. So I recommend this style. Okay. So this means that this one is pointing to a real memory address, so we can do this. So it's working correctly. And one more thing I like to mention is the coding style. So if you want to define one more pointer variable, you should repeat typing star one more time, ptrb or ptrc. So sometimes some programmers do something like this or this. Well, this is very confusing. So it's not gonna work. This is not a pointer in this case. This is integer variable. So, well, the way I use is, well, make a blank here, place a blank here, so that we can remember we need to place a star in front of the variable name if you want to define a pointer variable. This is what I do for styling. Okay. And let me talk a little bit about dynamic allocation. So if you want to define an array, then you may do something like this, right? And please do not forget deleting memory if you newly allocated memory. So there should be a delete in the code if you code anew. Okay, so please do not forget deleting memory. Okay, so this is a good habit. And well, I also would like to mention something. So like this one. So maybe you can define a constant num 100, 1000 maybe. So you can do this one. And integer array, you can do this, right? There's no problem. Well, even if this one was not referenced at all, but you may try this one. See the difference? Oh. Okay, let's try this again. Then this one has no problem because this is dynamic allocation. This means that, well, you may change this number in runtime, but this means this has some problem here, right? Well, it means that, well, if you define an array in this way, this number should be fixed in compile time. So you cannot do this one. If you want to dynamically change the size of your array, then you should do this one. You should use dynamic allocation. So this is a big difference.